Dream of the Red Chamber Chapter 10.
And what a way to start a party. The celebration is for Jia Jing, who's the patriarch of the Ning branch, and he's not there.
That's the first just delicious piece of absurdity the novel gives us.
The guest of honor is a no-show.
A complete no-show. Jia Jing's birthday is being celebrated with immense resources, but he decided not to attend because he's, and I'm quoting here, good in tranquility.
Good at tranquility. What does that even mean?
It means he's achieved cultivation. In his own mind, he's basically become an immortal. You know, he's totally detached from worldly duties like cake and well wishes.
So he's actively chosen spiritual detachment over his social duty.
Right, but the family can't just cancel the celebration.
Of course not. The entire scaffolding of their power rests on these performative rituals.
The ritual is everything. His son, Jia Zhen, had to send Jia Rong to deliver 16 large boxes of gifts and food as a proxy, just to make sure that respect was formally paid, even if the honoree himself refused to participate.
The show must go on.
It has to. The demands of the Jia name dictate that the public story, the narrative of stability and influence, must be meticulously maintained, even if the guy at the center of it all is trying to transcend humanity.
So if the actual birthday boy is absent, the party has to, overcompensate?
Oh, massively. And what's fascinating here is that even without Jia Jing present, the family's political and social gravity is so immense that this event just dictated attendance from the highest levels of the capital.
The source material is very specific about this, isn't it?
Meticulously. It lists all the visiting delegations.
So who showed up?
You've got 4 princely houses, Nanning, Dongqing, Xining, and Beijing. Then 6 ducal or earl houses, 8 marquises or count houses, all of them.
Wow.
They all sent high-ranking representatives their name cards and these lavish longevity gifts. This wasn't just a family party. It was a political gathering. It was about validating the Jia clan's influence in the court.
And the atmosphere was designed to match that political weight. I saw they had an opera troupe ready.
An opera troupe and also a daoshifan.
Okay, wait. Can you explain what that is exactly?
Sure. The daoshifan is a really important cultural detail. It's a type of traditional instrumental ensemble music. It's highly refined, often used for big celebrations, and it features a lot of percussion and wind instruments.
So it signals not just wealth,
but cultural sophistication, yes. Everything was staged to perfection in the Huifang Garden.
But there was another major absentee, and her excuse is just a masterpiece of aristocratic deflection.
You mean the revered matriarch, Jia Mu?
Exactly.
The peach incident. This is high society communication at its absolute best. Qifeng, the sharp-witted household manager, is the one who delivers the explanation.
And what does she say?
She tells Jia Zhen that Jia Mu wanted to come, but she had a bit of a stomach issue. And the reason? She ate more than half a peach while watching the children the night before.
More than half a peach.
Because of this tiny relatable bit of gluttony, she apparently got up twice around 5 in the morning.
It's perfect. It's funny. It's human, but it completely masks any serious concern about her actual health.
Precisely. She sends word that she's a little weak, and could they please send her some very soft, good food?
So the message is?
The message is, an elder's discomfort is never a real medical issue. It's never weakness. It's always packaged as a charming, almost endearing little story. They are performing perfect health, even while addressing the need for rest.
So they use humor and social grace to mask the discomfort of the most powerful person? That's the surface. But behind all that careful talk, someone was facing a crisis that was too serious even for a clever story.
Jia Rong's wife, Qin Shi. This is where the tension finally breaks through the performance.
And it happens with just a quiet question.
A very quiet inquiry. It's Wang Furen, who is Jia Zheng's wife from the Rong mansion. She pulls aside Yu Shi,
Qin Shi's mother-in-law.
her mother-in-law, yes, to ask about these rumors. She'd heard that Qin Shi was unwell.
And what were her symptoms? What was causing all the concern?
Her condition was getting worse and fast. For over half a month, she'd been getting more and more lethargic. She didn't want to eat, and critically, she'd missed 2 menstrual cycles.
Which immediately triggers the most hopeful but also potentially false assumption.
Right. Xing Jia, she's wife, she immediately suggests a possible pregnancy. The word she uses is joy.
Which just shows how much social weight was on producing an heir. A pregnancy would change the whole story from concern to celebration.
Instantly. But Yu Shi has to reveal the complexity. She says that while the earlier doctors did suspect a pregnancy, they consulted a new, highly recommended physician.
The one suggested by Feng Ziyan.
Yes, a friend of Jia Zhen. And this new doctor's diagnosis was just devastating. He said it was a very big illness. and absolutely not a pregnancy.
Why is that misdiagnosis so important here? Does it just underscore how quickly a social expectation can sort of overshadow a terrifying medical reality?
Absolutely. The impulse to assume pregnancy shows how deeply that expectation is entrenched in their society. Joy is the default setting for any ailment in a young wife. So this new diagnosis doesn't just cancel out a pregnancy, it establishes a fatal trajectory that their wealth can't buy their way out of.
And you can see the stress is clearly showing on the family members who are trying to manage both of these realities at once.
Oh, look at Jia Rong. When Shifeng corners him, demanding the truth about his wife, while he's rushing around the courtyard managing all these guests, you can just see the strain.
What does he say?
He just wrinkles his brow and says, "It's not good. Auntie, you'll know if you come back and see," and then he just rushes off.
His priority isn't emotional support.
No, it's maintaining the social performance the celebration demands.
So Shifeng, ever the pragmatist, realizes she can't just let this go. She and Bao Yu take a detour before going to the main party.
They go to Qinqi's room, and Shifeng immediately sees how severely thin Qinqi has become.
This is that critical shift, isn't it? From the public performance to this incredibly intimate despair.
It is. And Bao Yu comes along, but he's almost distracted at first by the beauty that still surrounds her, even in her illness. He sits there looking at this famous painting, the Xitang Spring Sleep painting, and an elegant couplet on the wall. The room is still beautiful, which just highlights the personal crisis happening against this backdrop of luxury.
And then Qinxi gives one of the most heartbreaking speeches in the entire novel. It's a moment of pure resignation.
She praises everyone, her in-laws, her husband, Shifeng's kindness, but then she says all that praise is almost worthless now because she's lost her strong will, her will to fight.
She's given up.
Completely. And this resignation is just steeped in fatalism. She tells Shifeng, and this is a direct quote, she says she won't likely survive the year.
Wow.
And then comes the truly pivotal philosophical line, the one that cuts through all the family's wealth and power. She says that no matter the doctor, no matter who they hire, they can cure the disease, but not the fate.
That distinction, disease versus fate, that's the core message here, isn't it?
It's everything. It's the idea that all their resources are just impotent against destiny.
And this is the ultimate limit of their power.
It is. And it hits Bao Yu, who is so sentimental, so hard, that he just starts weeping. But Shifeng, ever the practical manager, she pivots instantly from sorrow back to her duty.
The text mentions her eye circles red for a long time, so she's feeling it.
Oh, she's feeling it. It's genuine grief.
Yeah.
But she doesn't let it paralyze her.
She switches into problem-solving mode. First, she tells Bao Yu to leave.
Yes, she calls him too sentimental, or even motherly, basically saying, "Get out, you're not helping."
And then she tries to comfort Qinxi.
She does. First with a kind of universal proverb. Heaven has unpredictable winds, people have sudden misfortunes. That's the philosophical comfort. But then she immediately follows it up with a practical comfort, the comfort specific to the Jia family.
Their vast wealth.
Their vast wealth, which is where we get the ultimate illustrations of their resources. She tells Qinxi that the family can afford anything, even if it took 2 caddies of ginseng to save her.
2 caddies of ginseng.
Just think about that. Ginseng was one of the most expensive medicines in imperial China. It was reserved for the super wealthy, the highest nobility.
So Shifeng's comment isn't just about comfort.
It's not. It's also bragging about their financial muscle, assuring Qinxi that they can literally buy the most expensive fight against death possible. But that whole effort is immediately undercut by what Qinxi just said about fate.
The family has the money, but fate may not accept the payment.
Exactly.
So after this incredibly emotional, tragic exchange, Shifeng has to just pull herself together and rejoin the world.
And the narrative transition is so sudden, it just sweeps us away from that sick room and directly into the party in the Huafeng Garden.
The author, they do this so deliberately. It's this incredible sensory dissonance.
You leave the quiet desperation behind the side door.
You walk right into the noise.
The noise and the movement of the celebration. The description of the garden is so lush, it's designed to make us forget the sickbed entirely.
You're just bombarded with these beautiful details. Yellow flowers everywhere, white willows sloping across the hill.
Stream rapids in the rocks. And the sound. The music is no longer just an idea, it's filling the air. You see red leaves fluttering in the trees, the elegant robes of the guests moving through the landscape, the wealth, the orchestrated beauty, the pursuit of pleasure, it's all fully back on display.
The family has physically and psychologically moved away from the tragedy.
They have to. The music plays, the celebration continues, and they move toward pleasure, leaving the truth about Jinxi symbolically locked away. The demands of their social standing just supersede human grief. Jiarui has stole out of the banquet to wander the grounds.
And he finds Fengji alone.
He does, behind the rockery, the false mountains. And his choice of words is immediately alarming. He calls the meeting fate or affinity, Yuan.
As if this is some kind of romantic destiny.
Exactly. As if skipping a family function is proof of anything other than him being bored.
And he makes no attempt to hide what he wants. The sources are so clear about this. He's continually staring or squinting at her.
With obvious inappropriate intent. It's aggressive behavior happening right there in the family estate where he should be on his best behavior.
It raises a question for me. I mean, if his behavior is so obvious, why didn't anyone else notice or step in?
Well, that gets at the sheer size and complexity of these clans. There are always corners, always shadows, and some men feel entitled to use them.
But Fengji is not your typical victim.
Not at all. She's described as a clever person who instantly guessed 8 or 9 parts of his intention.
So she knows exactly what this game is?
Oh, immediately.
Right.
And more importantly, she recognizes the threat he poses to her reputation and her stability.
Her response then is just brilliant.
It is. She deploys this fake, almost exaggerated politeness.
She flatters him, calling him smart and amiable.
Right. And then uses the excuse of having to report to the elder ladies to get away. But here's the key strategic move.
What's that?
She leaves him with a vague, false promise. When we are free, let's talk again.
That false promise isn't surrender.
No, it's bait.
And Jiarui, who's just blinded by lust and ego, he doesn't see the trap at all.
He's described as being ecstatic. His expression becomes unpleasant to look at, a sign that he's lost all his decorum. He's left half paralyzed with excitement.
Wow.
He is completely consumed by this illusion that he succeeded. But the moment she's safe, away from his gaze, we get her internal perspective.
And what's that?
She instantly labels him a beast. She reduces him to an animal, and her vow is, it's terrifyingly cold.
She declares, I will make him die by my hands. Only then will he know my capabilities.
Yeah.
That's not just anger. That is a calculated declaration of war.
She didn't just escape the threat. She immediately began plotting the downfall of a family member. It just shows you the strategic level she operates on.
So she's just set a lethal trap. But the incredible thing is she doesn't pause. She immediately walks back into the center of the family party.
And shifts gears instantly, smoothly, back into her role as the perfect society manager at the feast in Changsang Tower.
She really is the linchpin of this whole operation.
She is. She acknowledges all the important matriarchs, Yuxi, Lady Sheng, Lady Wang, and she's immediately put to work, asked to select more operas for the family.
And she chooses The Return of the Soul and The Ballad. This isn't just like a random choice, is it?
No, it signals a highly sophisticated, if maybe slightly morbid taste. The Return of the Soul is one of the most famous love stories in Chinese opera. It involves a literal resurrection.
And death. And the ballad.
That often refers to more serious, historical, or even martial themes. Her choices are elegant, but you could read into them a subtle acknowledgement of the death that's already looming over the family.
And that anxiety is definitely in the air.
It is.
Lady Wang expresses concern that the hosts should rest because they are, quote, unsettled in spirit.
Which is the subtle public nod to the ongoing crisis, Qianxi's illness.
So the banquet is just a performance to try and override that anxiety.
Exactly. And Fengji's vigilance is tireless. She notices the men have all disappeared.
Right. They've moved to Ningxi Xuan to listen to instrumental music.
And she does not trust them for a second.
She says, who knows what they're up to in secret?
Yeah, and Yuxi tries to offer this light defense, saying not everyone is as proper as Fengji. But her point stands. She expects misconduct from the men of her own family.
Which reinforces why she reacted so violently to Jiarui.
It does. The whole social fabric depends on the women constantly policing the men's morals.
And here's the detail that connects it all back. Even as the feast is wrapping up, Jiarui is still there. Hovering.
Still there by the carriages. The text says that despite the crowd, he is still occasionally looking at Fengji.
He is pathologically persistent. He clearly did not get the message.
Not at all. Which means the conflict is inevitable. But now we have to shift to the actual life and death crisis that's dominating the estate.
Jinxi's wasting illness.
Right. Following the feast, Her health becomes the overwhelming focus, causing huge anxiety for everyone.
And the family is just desperate for positive signs.
They are.
We see this brief spike of hope around the winter solstice because her illness didn't get worse during the festival.
And this is a really beautiful, sad detail. The elders are grasping for this superstitious reassurance that because she survived a major calendar event, maybe she'll survive overall.
But Fengji is the one sent on the second day of the new month to get the actual reality for Jiamu, the matriarch.
And that reality check is brutal.
She finds Qinshi is severely emaciated. The meat on her face and body completely wasted away. There's no hope, only decline.
Qinshi does manage one small comfort. She ate 2 pieces of a special cake sent by Jiamu.
And she holds on to this idea that the truth of her condition will be known in the spring.
The patient clinging to fantasy.
But Fengji, as soon as she steps outside the room, is purely functional, pragmatic.
She tells Yuxi the truth in the bluntest possible terms. This truly cannot be helped.
And then comes the height of her calculated ruthlessness.
She advises Yuxi to immediately and secretly begin preparing the funeral supplies Yuxi right now.
It's such a cold, calculated move. It's framed as a superstitious measure to avert bad luck. But really?
Really, it's about preparing the necessary status symbols for a high-level funeral before the death is even confirmed.
And Yuxi has already started. But she's hit a logistical snag.
She's having difficulty finding good wood for the coffin.
And this detail is everything, isn't it?
It is. In this culture, the materials for your funeral reflect your entire family's status and power. Finding good wood means getting specific, expensive, rare timber.
So even in the face of deep sadness, the competition for status and money is fierce.
That's Fengji's world.
And now we see her execute the perfect strategic maneuver, the double report.
She returns home, having faced the reality of death, but now she has to manage the emotions of the most powerful people in the house.
So to Jiamu, she lies. Strategically.
She doesn't report the emaciation. She softens the truth, saying Qinshi is much better and sends greetings.
And Jiamu, she ponders it for a long time. She's probably not fully convinced.
But she's willing to accept the reassurance because the truth is too painful.
It's a classic example of managing up in a huge organization. You tailor the reality to what the leader needs to hear to maintain peace.
Exactly. Then she reports to Lady Wang and moves on to her actual duties.
After changing clothes, she asks her maid, Pinger, about household affairs, and we just pivot instantly from death plots to financial stability.
Yes, Pinger reports collecting 300 taels of interest silver.
The scope of her mental workload is just staggering. One minute she's organizing a funeral, the next she's calculating interest payments.
And 300 taels is a significant sum. It underscores her role not just as a manager of people, but as a financial powerhouse.
But the conflict immediately comes back, doesn't it?
It does. It interrupts the administrative calm. Pinger reveals that Jiarui sent someone to check if Fengji was home.
He wanted to pay respects and talk.
He is persistent, entitled, and walking straight toward his own doom.
He truly did not get the message. Fengji hears this and immediately condemns him as a beast deserving of death.
Chu Sheng, he gets Zusi. She tells Pinger the whole story of what happened in the garden, confirming her plan.
And Pinger delivers that famous hierarchical judgment of him.
Toad dreaming of eating swan meat. We should probably linger on that phrase.
It's so concise and devastating.
It is. It tells us Jiarui is not just immoral. He's fundamentally incapable of understanding his place. He is a low-status creature daring to aspire to something high and pure.
And for that transgression, he must be crushed.
Terrifyingly cold. And Fengji just confirms her resolve, assuring Pinger, I have my own methods for him.